with Ary Sulistyo, who obtained a undergraduate degree at the Archaeological Study Program, Faculty of Humanities at the University of Indonesia, and a postgraduate degree at the same university in 2011. He is a cultural heritage expert, team of the Port City, West Java, and a cultural heritage, no, and a processing team. The Director of Cultural Protection, Ministry of Education, Culture and Research and Technology of the Republic of Indonesia. Ary Sulistyo has attended training for the Student Scholarship Program named Tailor-Made Training in Heritage and Economic Development for the Institute of Housing and Urban Development Studies. Okay.
Yeah, hello. My voice already on?
Okay, so let's start speaking. Thanks,
Yeah,
Jamie.
okay. Thank you.
I think it's the other.
Thank you, Jamie, and the organization.
It's okay.
Hi everyone, thank you for the opportunity that given to me at the International Conference Transnational Island Museologies at University of St Andrew, Scotland. I would like to present Paddling to Andrews Cultural Heritage Preservation and Ecological Development in Andrews Historical Island, Jakarta, Indonesia. My name's Ary Sulistyo and my colleagues, Mr. Ismail Fahreza, Mr. Tengku Rizky, Miss Nova Farida Lestari, and Miss Sri Wulantuti Rizky Ningsih. The contents of these presentations are backgrounds, research methods, result and discussion, history of the Andros and its surrounding, preservation and ecological development principles, and the last, conclusion and advice. The Andros Cluster Island, located not too far from Jakarta, approximately 14 until 15 kilometers from the north coast of Jakarta, and we can go there using motorboat, probably 15 until 20 minutes from the north coast of Jakarta. Back in early 16th centuries, this area called Terra Incognita, it means that already exists because this area is included in the territory of the Banten Islamic Kingdom, the local kingdom. And then the Dutch began the colonization in early 17th centuries, and then the memory of Indonesian independence in 1945, and then after that, 30 years later, is stipulated as Jakarta Cultural Heritage. And recently, this area, the cluster island of Ondrus, is threatened by sea level rise and also the human development impact, as well as the tourism attraction destination. The abrasion threatened the Keller Island in the Onrus cluster island based on the data from 5 hectares shrinking to 2 until 3 hectares from 2008 until 2022. Well, the next is a reset methods. The method states of uh, this paper began from the data collecting, data processing, and data interpretation. So we collect from the literature study and survey and observation and data processing. We conducting contextual analysis and categorization and the data interpretation based on the ecological principles of development and eco museums, as well as for the future planning. So the Andros Cluster Island is strategically located not too far from the Jakarta capital city, but unfortunately, high frequent wave during west monsoon season and tide cause the aberrations. And in the Bay of Jakarta itself, utilized by the local community to catch fish and using traditional methods called bagang and sero. In other sides, it's historically significant uh, for Jakarta and Indonesia. And Andros Island is become the place of consolidate of the Dutch colony before being attacked the Jakarta, and then the function of the Andros Cluster Island become as well as natural fortification. So this is the timeline of the Andros Island from the early 17th century until the 1945 when Indonesia got independence. So interestingly, in 1883, when the Krakatawa Mound eruptions paralyzed the Andros port and moved to the modern one called the Tanjung Priok until recently. So this time is very important when the capital city already paralyzed, even to Europe because the Krakatawa Mount eruption is very famous. The preservation and development of the Andros Cluster Island began from 1990s until 1997 called the New Order era, and then Reformation era in 1997 until now, and then the future planning. I want to highlight that in New Order era, mostly government regulation protect the archaeological material from the mass looting and destruction. And then in Reformation era, mostly uh, the government conducted the revitalization for tourist convenience. And then for future plannings, the protection of the islands focus on the environmental degradation and abrasion. The ecological development principle, which means that the sustainability is the key of the development in IVN Tesorero in 2016 emphasized that ecological and community development perspective with principle of holistics, sustainability, diversity, and balance. Based on archaeological context, with the conservation and development of tourism in Jakarta as wide, a tentative linkage matrix between archaeological remain and ecological principle can be derived. So this is the ecological and community development principle developed by Ivy and Tesoriero in 2016. They are holistic, sustainability, equilibrium, and diversity. Each of these values have a checklist that must be fulfilled. The tentative correlation between archaeological remains and ecological principle, based on six archaeological remains in Andros Cluster Island, such as ex-hospitals, tower structures, tower caker, Dutch graveyard, and ex-Japanese prisons. In the context of sustainability principle, the conservation of the Andros Islands is a far ahead, but unfortunately, for the holistic diversity and equilibrium principle still need to be developed, one widely regarded as eco-museum. And the last is advice. There are three advice that will be proposed in this presentation. The first, need to develop integrated research on those cluster island, not only archaeology, but also social, environment, and economic and tourism. The second, need to develop the master plan that can be used as guidance for mitigation and adaptation. And the last, need short, mid, and long-term management planning. Thank you for listening our presentation.
Thank you. Thank you so much.